At the age of 70, Mike seems almost superhuman. He tours as a drummer in 2 rock bands and plays marathon sets that last until the wee hours of the morning. One of his bands was even featured in a recent 3-day festival in the sweltering Nevada sun. Mike loves every minute of it. He tells people he's living his retirement dream, and his smile says it all. When you see him now, it's hard to believe Mike came so close to missing out on the dream he worked so hard for. For 37 years, Mike worked as an elementary school custodian, but he was a musician at heart. He knew he wanted to get back to playing the drums as soon as he retired and had more time. But when that time came, Mike was just too tired. He didn't have the energy he used to have. And to top it off, his fingers would get cold and numb. Sometimes they'd even fall asleep for no reason at all. That alone could have been the end of his dream. And Mike's not alone. There's also Eddie. When Eddie was in his 60s, his health took a nosedive. It was so bad he had to stop doing a lot of the things he loved most in life. But now at 82, Eddie also feels superhuman, and he acts it too. He plays 2 hours of tennis several times a week and competes in tournaments. He also swims regularly, travels, and he and his wife still enjoy a steamy sex life. Then there's Des. For 15 years, he couldn't walk up a flight of stairs without feeling pain in his knees. It got so bad that it even hurt walking on a flat surface. He tried taking joint care supplements, but they didn't do much. Des's blood pressure was also higher than it used to be. He felt like he was falling apart, and he was starting to worry about what his future would be like if things continued along this path. But once Des heard about what I'm going to share with you here today, he started to feel much better. In just a few weeks, his blood pressure came down, his knee pain vanished. Best of all, he didn't make any changes to his diet or exercise regimen. So how did Des, Eddie, and Mike go from feeling worn out and old to feeling superhuman? Well, all it took was one simple thing. They all improved their health by improving the function of their endothelium. You see, the endothelium is a layer of cells that lines your blood vessels. It's in the major arteries of your heart and lungs. It's even in the tiniest capillaries in your fingers and your toes, your eyes, and every one of your organs. In fact, the endothelium is the largest organ of your body. If you could spread it out, the cells would cover almost 2 entire football fields. That's a lot of cells. And we now know the endothelium is one of the most important organs concerning your health. People with a healthy endothelium feel good. They have few, if any, symptoms and stay active. When you see an older person who looks and acts younger than their age, they're sure to have a healthy endothelium. The reason why the endothelium is so vital is because it controls blood flow throughout your entire body. When you have good blood flow, fresh oxygen and nutrients are delivered to all of your cells, organs, and tissues. This keeps everything working the way it should. But if you have poor blood flow, your cells will be slowly deprived of oxygen and vital nutrients. For many people, the first sign of poor blood flow is they start feeling low on energy some days, or like they need to grab a cup of coffee or something sugary in the afternoon. For other people, they notice they have a harder time sleeping or have difficulty concentrating or remembering things. Or maybe, like Mike, their hands and feet go numb more easily and their fingers go numb. Other signs of a sluggish endothelium are declining vision, lower sex drive, aches and pains in the knees or other joints, or an increase in blood pressure or cholesterol levels. This is when people often say they're starting to feel old. I know this because I hear it in my practice all the time. The fact is, most of the things we think are health problems are actually just symptoms. They have an underlying cause. And whenever someone has any of the symptoms I mentioned earlier, the underlying cause is most likely a sluggish endothelium. Today, I'm going to tell you about a surprising discovery made by MIT scientists. And it led to an extraordinary breakthrough that allows your body to restore your endothelium. This reverses many of the symptoms that can slowly deteriorate your quality of life as you get older. It's how Mike, Eddie, and Des reversed their symptoms and are now healthier and more active than ever. I'm going to show you exactly how you can do the same too. In fact, what I'm going to tell you has already helped thousands of people. Just like them, you can restore healthy blood pressure without doing anything that causes unpleasant side effects. You can supercharge your energy and get back to doing more of the things you love. Play more tennis, spend time in the garden, enjoy time with your grandchildren, or hit the dance floor. You can wake up feeling well rested and raring to go. No more tossing and turning, waking up in the middle of the night, not being able to get back to sleep. You can eliminate swelling in your joints and enjoy the freedom to move without pain. You can improve your memory and remember people's names, where you put your keys, what you wanted to get from the room you just walked into. You can restore flexibility to your arteries so your heart and your circulatory system stay healthy. You can improve your lung function and reverse breathing difficulties with no more feeling winded or out of breath. You can plan a second honeymoon. Why not? With all the energy and everything back to working the way it should, you may enjoy it more than your first one. But before I tell you about the discovery, there's something you need to know about the endothelium. For a long time, the medical community thought it was just a barrier that separates your blood from the tissue walls. But in 1980, a pharmacologist from New York named Robert Furchtgott discovered it does much more than that. Furchtgott discovered that the endothelium controls your blood vessels. It makes them relax and dilate when you need more blood flow. So when the endothelium doesn't work well, your blood flow is restricted. Since your blood delivers oxygen and vital nutrients to your cells, you can see how important the endothelium is in controlling your overall health. But there was something about the endothelium that puzzled Furchtgott. He couldn't explain why sometimes it would relax and allow more blood flow, while other times it didn't. While Furchtgott was doing his research, two other scientists were doing research of their own. They had discovered a mysterious molecule that seemed to appear out of nowhere and quickly spread throughout the body. Wherever it went, the molecule sent signals that affected the nearby cells. When Furchtgott found out about their research, he wondered if there was a connection with the endothelial cells. Turns out he was right. And when the three scientists combined their research, Furchtgott's mystery was solved. It turns out the signaling molecule was a very fragile gas called nitric oxide. Nitric oxide sends messages to the endothelium that tell it to relax and allow more blood flow. The nitric oxide discovery was so revolutionary that in 1998, it earned all three scientists the Nobel Prize and has set off a massive wave of research around the world. Nitric oxide is essential for your health and overall well-being. It's as important for your body as oil is for your car. As you may know, if you stop getting the oil changed in a car, the engine will get gummed up. Eventually, it will run out of oil, and without oil, it won't be long before your car suffers a critical engine failure. Well, it's the same with nitric oxide, but instead of being an oil, it's a gas that keeps the endothelium healthy. So your body stays fueled with oxygen and nutrient-rich blood. And here's something else you need to know about nitric oxide. It's actually very fragile. It lasts only a few seconds before it disappears, so your body needs a constant new supply to keep you healthy and active. That's why if a person is low on nitric oxide and suddenly gets more of it, they can feel the difference almost immediately. Nitric oxide is nothing short of a health miracle maker. It's so important that your body has two ways to make it. The first way happens right in the endothelium. There's a process that converts an amino acid called L-arginine into nitric oxide. But if your endothelium starts to get sluggish, the L-arginine has a harder time converting into nitric oxide. In fact, once people get past their 20s, their nitric oxide often plummets. A study showed that most people in their 70s have lost 75% of their nitric oxide. No wonder so many people develop health symptoms and stop enjoying life. Now, let me tell you why L-arginine supplements usually don't work. Since the endothelium uses L-arginine to make nitric oxide, many people believe the problem is they don't have enough L-arginine. So they think taking an L-arginine supplement will help. And you can find plenty of them on the market that promise to boost nitric oxide, but they're usually a waste of money, and here's why. Studies show once the L-arginine is swallowed, your body immediately starts to break it down. By the time it's ready to be absorbed into your bloodstream, it's lost as much as 75% of its effectiveness. What's more, L-arginine isn't well tolerated by some people. People who take it often suffer bloating, diarrhea, nausea, and stomach pain. So researchers who study L-arginine now say people should avoid it. They don't see any benefit to taking it, and it could cause some unpleasant side effects. Besides, you don't need L-arginine to make nitric oxide because your body has a backup plan that gives you a steady stream of it. When your body has a harder time converting L-arginine to nitric oxide, it relies more on other ways to make it. This one involves your diet. You see, there are some foods that contain a certain nutrient. Your body uses the nutrient to make nitric oxide, and what's so surprising is that it's a nutrient people used to think was bad. That nutrient is nitrate. That's right, nitrate. So you may remember hearing that hot dogs are bad for you because they contain nitrates. And it's true that eating hot dogs may be bad for you, but it's not because of nitrates. It turns out nitrates are a vital nutrient because your body needs them to make nitric oxide. So what healthier foods contain nitrates? Some of the best sources are beets, garlic, spinach, nuts and seeds, and dark chocolate. Now you may already be eating some of these foods, maybe even a lot of them. Even so, you may still be low on nitric oxide. Why? Because you need to eat a specific amount of nitrates to get the nitric oxide effect your body needs. That amount is 300 milligrams. I wish I could tell you exactly how many cups that would be of each of those nitrate-rich foods, but it's difficult to know because the amount of nitrates in food varies dramatically depending on where and how the plants are grown, how they were stored, and how they're prepared. For example, the nitrate level of beet grown in one type of soil can have 50 times more nitrate than a beet grown in another type of soil. But there's another, even more surprising problem about a common habit that robs you of nitric oxide. And here's the discovery that I wanted to tell you about. A scientist from MIT was researching how the body makes nitric oxide, and he found out something quite surprising. It turns out that your body needs a special type of bacteria to start converting the nitrate in food into nitric oxide. And the bacteria live on your tongue, so the process needs to start in your mouth. Without those bacteria, you could be eating nitrate-rich foods by the truckload, and you never make the nitric oxide your body needs to stay healthy. And get this, turns out 2 out of 3 people don't have enough of the special bacteria. And it may surprise you to hear why. If you take good care of your teeth, there's a good chance you don't have much of the special bacteria left. That's right. Most mouthwashes and even fluoride toothpaste kill the bacteria your body needs to make nitric oxide. That's why a person can eat a healthy diet, exercise, and still not stop the decline of nitric oxide as they age. Luckily, you don't have to sacrifice healthy teeth and fresh breath to boost your nitric oxide, because the tongue bacteria discovery gave some scientists an idea. The scientists were doing research at the University of Texas Health Science Center, and they discovered there's a simple way to get your body to produce more nitric oxide, and it works even if you have a sluggish endothelium. They discovered that with the right ingredients, your body can still produce nitric oxide, provided the ingredients mix with a certain amount of the tongue bacteria. And after a lot of trial and error, the scientists discovered the winning formula. It's a 5-ingredient combo that works like magic. But now the scientists had another problem to solve. They had to figure out how to get the ingredients to mix with enough of the bacteria. That meant a pill or a drink wouldn't work because they don't spend time in your mouth. So to solve the problem, they created a special lozenge. As it dissolves in your mouth, it mixes with just enough of the bacteria to get the nitric oxide process started. And the results are amazing. A group of doctors tested the nitric oxide lozenge to see if it really made a difference in blood flow. They split a group of patients with high blood pressure into 2 groups. One group got the lozenge, one got the placebo. In just 10 minutes, the group that got the nitric oxide lozenge had increased their blood flow as much as 34%. That makes this formula one of the most effective nitric oxide boosters you can find. It's so unique that it's protected by an exclusive patent. But through a special arrangement, I can now make it available to you in a supplement called Circo 2. Circo-2 is made with an exclusive blend of nitric oxide boosting ingredients. But what makes this formula different is that it also helps your body re-energize the endothelium. That way your body will make nitric oxide all day, just like it did when you were in your 20s. The first step to energize your endothelium is to restore its function and get more blood flowing through your body. And Circo-2 has a special ingredient that does exactly that. You may not want unsightly shrubs in your garden, but if you want to reverse a sluggish endothelium, you'll be glad this shrub is in Circo-2. The shrub is hawthorn. It's been used in Asia since the 1st century to help people with heart, circulatory, and respiratory troubles. And modern scientific research confirms that hawthorn has a remarkable ability to protect endothelial cells from damage. As you saw earlier, when your endothelium is damaged, your blood flow is restricted. This starves your cells of fresh oxygen and nutrients, including your endothelial cells. This shortens their life and starts a vicious cycle. As your endothelial cells die, your blood flow becomes more restricted, which causes more endothelial cells to die, and around it goes. Hawthorn breaks the vicious cycle and throws it into reverse. It does it by protecting the endothelial cells from damage. In fact, researchers tested hawthorn extract against several other powerful medicinal herbs. And hawthorn gave endothelial cells 6 times more protection from damage. That means they live longer. That helps repair your endothelium, which improves your blood flow and brings your starving cells back to life. While other supplements may boost nitric oxide, Circo-2 is the only supplement that includes hawthorn to restore your endothelial health too. Circo-2's proprietary formula also includes the 2 most powerful nitric oxide boosting ingredients you can find. The first one is beetroot powder. Beetroot powder is loaded with health benefits. It's a powerful antioxidant. It fights inflammation, it improves brain function, and it's an amazing source of nitrates. That makes it a nitric oxide producing powerhouse. In fact, a study showed drinking beetroot juice almost doubles your nitric oxide. In the study, researchers timed a group of people riding a stationary bike until they were too exhausted to continue. They also measured their nitric oxide levels, how much oxygen the participants had in their blood, and how much got into their muscles. Then they split them into 2 groups. One group got the beetroot juice to drink every day for 6 days. The other group got a sham drink that tasted like beetroot juice, but didn't have any nitrates in it. At the end of the study, the people came back and were tested again. And the researchers were astonished by what they saw. The people drinking the beetroot juice increased their nitric oxide by 96%. That's almost double. But not only that, instead of gasping for air, they needed less oxygen to pedal, and they could pedal longer too. But the people who got the fake drink didn't see any benefit whatsoever. Beetroot is one of the best nitric oxide boosters you can find. That's why Circo-2 contains a standardized extract of it and gives you the correct amount you need. What's more, the beetroot in Circo-2 comes in lozenge form. That way it dissolves in your mouth and turns the nitrates into nitric oxide. If that was all Circo-2 had in it, you'd already feel an amazing difference. But this special formula contains an ingredient that gets around the L-arginine problem, and it helps your endothelium make more nitric oxide too. As I mentioned earlier, taking L-arginine supplements doesn't do much to help your body make its own nitric oxide. And besides, there's something even better you can do. You can get your body to make more L-arginine. How? With something called L-citrulline. L-citrulline is an amino acid that your body uses to make L-arginine, and your digestive system doesn't have to break L-citrulline down. That's why Circo-2 ends up giving you more L-arginine than you'd get from taking an L-arginine supplement. And L-citrulline gives you other benefits too. It improves concentration, increases blood flow, and reduces muscle fatigue. In fact, a study found L-citrulline can even give you more muscle power. In this study, the researchers split people into 2 groups. One group took L-citrulline capsules for 7 days. The other group took capsules filled with a cornstarch placebo. After a week, both groups met with the researchers for testing. First, the researchers tested their level of L-arginine, and they were amazed. In just 7 days, the people taking the L-citrulline had an astonishing 38% more L-arginine in their bodies. Then both groups were tested to see how fast they could ride 4 kilometers on a stationary bike. The L-citrulline group finished faster, but the researchers had to make sure it was because of the L-citrulline. So they did the study a second time. Only they switched the capsules. So the ones who got the L-citrulline the first time got the placebo and vice versa. And the results from the second test confirmed it. In each case, the L-citrulline group had more L-arginine and finished the bike race faster. Not only that, the people all said when they took the L-citrulline, their muscles didn't feel as tired. And they noticed they had more concentration. So L-citrulline helps your body both physically and mentally, and it keeps your level of L-arginine elevated so your endothelium can make nitric oxide all day without any side effects. Circo-2 also contains 2 vitamins that are essential to your body's ability to make and use nitric oxide. The first is vitamin B12. Many people don't get enough B12, or they have trouble absorbing it. B12 is important because it protects the nerve endings in your brain. People who don't have enough of it often notice they have problems with their memory. Not only that, low B12 is shown to lower your nitric oxide levels too. That's why Circo-2 has 1,000 micrograms of B12. This helps your body make nitric oxide while also giving your memory a boost. And the second ingredient is vitamin C. You already know that vitamin C is great for supporting your immune system. Well, studies show it also helps your body make nitric oxide, especially when you're over 60. Right around the age of 60, people's bodies start having a hard time clearing out toxins, and that toxic buildup is one of the things that wears out your endothelium. But vitamin C is shown to seek out and remove the toxins that weaken your endothelium. The combination of these 5 powerful nitric oxide boosting ingredients in a delicious lozenge that melts on your tongue makes Circo-2 the best nitric oxide booster you can find, and the results speak for themselves. Most supplement companies rely on studies that test the individual ingredients in their supplements, but they never study how people respond to the product itself. That's not the case with Circo-2. In fact, there are several studies that show how well the actual Circo-2 lozenge works. In one study, researchers gave people the lozenge to dissolve on their tongue. Then every 5 minutes, the researchers used the same process I mentioned earlier to measure the amount of nitric oxide in their body. They kept measuring them over an hour, and the results were astonishing. The participants' nitric oxide levels began to rise almost immediately. In less than 20 minutes, their nitric oxide was 650% higher, and it stayed elevated too. In another study, researchers tested the formula on a group of people aged 42 to 79. All of them had high triglycerides. The researchers split them into 2 groups. One group got a box of lozenges with the Circo-2 ingredients, the other got a placebo. They were told to let the lozenge dissolve on their tongue every morning and evening. When the 2 groups returned 30 days later, the researchers tested their triglycerides again. The Circo-2's group triglycerides dropped by as much as 55% without making any other changes to their lifestyle. But even better was how the Circo-2 group felt. At the end of the study, the participants from both groups filled out a questionnaire. Many people in the Circo-2 group said they felt more relaxed, they slept better, they had more energy, were less anxious, and most of them said they felt so good they wanted to continue taking the lozenge. There's no denying it. You feel noticeably better when your cells are flushed with oxygen and nutrients, and it makes you healthier too. Nitric oxide can do more for your health and well-being than practically anything else I've seen. In fact, I'm shocked that the standard screening tests we get when we're older don't include a way to test for nitric oxide. While it may take a week or 2 for you to feel the full benefits of Circo-2, many people notice a difference in just minutes. Michael from New York said, "I have to say that after letting this good tasting tab melt in my tongue, within about 10 minutes I can feel the effects. I have more energy and I feel very alert." And Robert from Texas reports, I take it every day. You can begin to see results immediately. And Tifero from Florida said, energy is all the way up. I felt the difference after 15 minutes of taking it. Hundreds of thousands of people have taken Circ O2. They can't say enough about how much better it makes them feel. Why not join them and have more energy than you've felt in years? Balance your blood pressure. Get a restful night's sleep every night. Look and feel younger. Sharpen your memory and focus and get back to enjoying life again. Circ O2 is 100% safe and effective. Like so many others, you'll be amazed by the results. I'm so confident that I'll gladly refund every penny you paid if it doesn't make you feel better than you have in years. Just return the lozenges you didn't use or the empty box if you used them all within 90 days. You'll get a full refund without any questions. You only pay return shipping. Choose the number of boxes you will order today. It's entirely up to you, but I suggest you order at least 3 boxes. You'll save $15 and I'll cover the cost of the shipping too. Since you can try Circ O2 for almost 90 days, 100% risk-free, you have absolutely nothing to lose and everything to gain. Once you feel the Circ O2 difference, you'll understand why people don't ever want to run out. And now you can save even more. If you buy 6 months supply, you can save over $50. That's like getting 5 boxes and getting 1 box free. That means for as little as $1.38 a day, you can start feeling decades younger. Of course, I'll cover the shipping for you too. It's so easy to order Circ O2. Simply click the button below, or if you prefer, call us toll free at 1-800-791-3395. And if Circ O2 isn't everything I promised it would be, you can get a full refund. Imagine, as soon as your boxes of Circ O2 arrive, you can pop a lozenge in your mouth and start feeling better than you have in years. And very often, the effects begin in just minutes. No more feeling left out or sitting on the sidelines of life. Now you get back in the game again. I know you'll be delighted with the results. If your energy isn't what it used to be, if you're worried about your blood pressure, you have aches and pains that get in your way, or any other symptom that keeps you from living the life you want, you owe it to yourself to see the difference Circ O2 can make. You have nothing to worry about because you're protected by my down to the last lozenge guarantee. To place your order, simply click the button below. So go ahead and order now. Still there? Let me answer some of the top questions people have about Circ O2. Is Circ O2 safe? Yes. Hundreds of thousands of people have taken Circ O2 without any reported serious side effects. That said, one of the benefits of this exclusive formula is that it relaxes blood vessels and improves blood flow. So people who have low blood pressure should consult their physician before taking Circ O2. How long will it take for me to know it's working? Many people can feel an effect in just minutes. For others, it takes longer. And some people say they notice some changes in the first couple of days, and then even more benefits after taking it for a week or two. So each person responds differently. If you don't notice an immediate difference, I recommend you keep taking it until you finish the box and then see how you feel. You're protected by my down to the last lozenge guarantee. So if you aren't completely satisfied, you can get a full refund as long as you return it within the 90 days of your purchase. I already have tons of energy and my blood pressure is fine. How can Circ O2 help me? First, keep doing what you're doing. You're setting yourself up for continued great health, even as you age. But even if you're maintaining healthy habits, the fact is endothelial function decreases with age. Luckily, Circ O2 helps protect your endothelium. And since there's absolutely no downside, you can take it and know that it's helping to keep you healthy as you get older. I take multivitamin that contains vitamin C and B12. Will I get too much of those if I take Circ O2? Not at all. Both vitamin C and B12 are water soluble. That means your body will only absorb what it needs and will eliminate the rest. I read that using antiseptic mouthwash and fluoride toothpaste stops my body from making nitric oxide. Should I stop using them? Good oral hygiene is important for your health. You can certainly switch to natural and fluoride-free products, but you don't need to if you take Circo 2. Circo 2's patented formula is in a lozenge that dissolves in your mouth. That gives it enough time to mix with the special bacteria and start making nitric oxide. Do I need to take it twice a day? Many people get results taking just one lozenge in the morning, but I suggest that you take Circo 2 twice a day for the first week or two. After that, you can try just taking it in the morning and see how you feel. Do I have to let the lozenge dissolve completely in my mouth? It's best to let it dissolve completely, but it's okay if you let it dissolve a bit and then chew the rest. That still gives the ingredients enough time to mix with the bacteria. Caffeine and energy drinks give me the shakes. Will that happen if I take Circo 2? No, Circo 2 doesn't contain any caffeine or any other ingredient that can give you artificial energy jolt. Instead, Circo 2 helps improve your blood flow, so all you feel is the natural high energy you had when you were younger. Where can I get Circo 2? Circo 2 is not available in stores. To get your no-risk trial supply, click on the button below and we'll rush your shipment right to your front door. So there you have it. Click the button below to place your order now.